Hello, everybody, and welcome to another vidIQ live stream. I'm Dan, and every week we join you on Wednesdays for some Q&A and a discussion about different ways you can grow on YouTube. Sometimes we cover different tools, and sometimes we have a guest who comes and brings a different aspect of YouTube to the discussion. So today we are welcoming Mr. Ben Levitt as our guest of honor. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk social media and YouTube and see if we can't help some people.
Me too. Thank you for being here. And I guess also Rob's here.
Hi, yes. Relegated to last position, but that's fine, Dan. That's fine, Dan, because I'm going to get all of the community into my favor again and say, folks, let me know in the chat, did you miss me yesterday? Because I assume you all did. I love you all. I'm putting on my live streaming gloves right now.
Yeah, there are live streaming gloves, Ben. I apologize.
Forgot to pick up a pair. That's on me.
If they make you a little uncomfortable. They make me very uncomfortable. And,
I mean, look, that's what they turn into when you try and fold them inside out.
That's awesome.
So, Ben, for anyone who doesn't know, which would be a shame, tell everybody a little bit about you and your channel.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a YouTube creator myself, and on my channel, I aim to educate people, typically solo entrepreneurs or anybody who wants to start a side hustle, with how to best leverage social media to grow an audience and a business off of that.
So what are some of the different ways that you yourself, being a YouTuber as well, leverage social media on your own channel?
Yes, it's crazy because the blessing of having so many different channels is also a curse, because it really is they're very nuanced in how to best use them. So I think a big tool is understanding like what each platform is really good at and maximizing that, and not trying to make it something that's not. So I think that's very, very important. Instagram's a huge part of my business. So although a lot of people like to hate on Instagram, I still think there's a huge opportunity over there. It's just about doing things that they care about. And that's what's going to really help you have success on any platform, is focusing on what that platform really cares about.
Just very briefly, Ben, what is the current hate on Instagram? Because I've heard this from a few different people right now, but it's the social media platform that's not really in vogue right now.
Yes. And you'd be right in saying that. And that's really like the court of public opinion, just because the narrative has shifted because of where they are as a social media platform. And also, I think TikTok is really the catalyst as to why everyone is now hating on Instagram, because you can overnight blow up on TikTok. But my whole counter argument there would be, you don't have the touch points that you do over on Instagram. So I still think that there is tremendous value in building an Instagram audience. They're just so different. So a lot of people look at TikTok and the growth that's achievable there, and they just in turn look at Instagram and say, oh, Instagram's dead.
What do you mean by touch points?
So when someone follows you on TikTok, it's very possible that they could never see your content again. So if you're using this to try to grow a business, you don't have those touch points via stories. It's unlikely they're going to see the link in your bio. Like the relationship is just far less strong, in my opinion.
So like you could have a video that has 50 million views, but that's it. I mean, you're not necessarily being recommended again, or it's just difficult to have that, I guess, two-way social communication with an audience, other than
very much so, and
like a passive experience.
Exactly. And getting them off of TikTok is something that's proven tremendously difficult to do. If you talk to anyone who's tried to do that, it's been very difficult to do that. And that's because TikTok is the way it is, and it works so well because it just keeps you consuming. So that's great for the platform, not as much for the creator.
Yeah.
Would you say, and this has only just occurred to me, I don't spend a whole lot of time on TikTok, would you say that opposite of YouTube, subscribers or followers on TikTok would matter more than necessarily a view? Views obviously matter, but on YouTube we say that views are king, and subscribers are kind of secondary to that. But with what you said, it feels like the opposite over there.
Yes, well, because I would say that views don't matter. It really depends on your intention, but views are attainable over on TikTok from scratch. So you could post your first video, and if it gets the right data points, it could legitimately get tens of millions of views overnight. So I think the longer way of answering that question is, if you're a targeted page, I think followers matters a lot more, because it's also going to mean that every piece of content that you make that's within that niche is far more likely to convert, and obviously far more likely to convert someone that could be of value to you and your business. So I'd say it really depends on what you're there for. But I would say probably followers matters more if you're going to be in a targeted niche.
Is TikTok, sorry if you already answered this, is TikTok a big part of what you cover on your channel?
Yeah, less and less. I think a lot of other channels did a really good job covering TikTok. I just found that for myself personally, there are a lot of instances where it works really well. But for my personal business, I didn't see a ton of return on the investment from creating content there. So I stopped pumping out as much educational stuff there. Still definitely do sprinkle it in when I think there's something of value for the masses. But I focus more so on Instagram and YouTube on my channel.
Well, just my last TikTok question then would be, what kind of creator do you think benefits the most from TikTok?
I think what really is nice about TikTok is the fact that it is like every video is truly viewed independently from the algorithm, which it means that you do have a little more creative freedom. Again, what that translates in terms of views then later into followers will depend on obviously the layout of your page and what kind of content you're offering in addition to that. But you do have a really great creative freedom to really provide like an accent in terms of your true personality. So even if you have an established following, say on YouTube or elsewhere, it really provides you an opportunity to let your core fans and potentially new fans get to know you, the other things that you're into, because trends are always changing over there. So you could get a video that does very, very well that may not be exactly in your niche, but you could tailor it in with your own personality, and then gives you a lot more of an outlet to just create.
Right. Well, one thing we didn't do today, before we continue our discussion, because we jumped right into it, we didn't say hello to anybody. And normally we welcome everybody here to the live stream. So I just want to welcome everybody who's joined us. A bunch of you already hit like. You were waiting before the stream even started, so thank you for that. Ben, would you like to say hello to some folks here in chat?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hello to Josh, Burt, Kevin, Lockdown Life. Hello, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Hello to Viper, DZ Studios, Brian Ketterin. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Hello, hello, hello.
Rob, who are you saying hello to?
I'm going to say hello to Barrel. Also, I'm going to say hello to Animated Creeper. Let's also say hello to Cody Hindsights, Alf Milox Games, and finally, when the chat stops scrolling, because now everybody's saying hi, I'm going to say hello to Lopi Media as well.
I will say hello to Artist in a Garden. It's a great channel name. Let's Find Fun. We have IceSpark7. Hello to you. Short Reviews. Ravencraft. Scroll down here a little bit. Chat likes to jump a lot. Road Wheels. ND Rage. And Will D Dawn. Or Wild Dawn. But the D is capitalized, so I have no idea. Wildy Dawn is what I'm going to go with. So thank you all for being here. So yes, there's a few different forms this stream takes, and today it is still a Q&A stream, but we're specifically talking about social media and the different ways you can use it to grow your YouTube channel. Perhaps when you should do that, what platform might be right for you, and things like that. So we just talked a whole bunch about TikTok, and you said Instagram's kind of your, I guess would bread and butter be the way to kind of put it?
So that's probably appropriate in terms of like what I make.
So what are just some of your favorite, aspects of Instagram as a YouTube creator?
I think a lot of it has to do with those touch points that I mentioned. Like there's so many ways to interact with someone. And I think it's one of the best places to nurture someone from a casual viewer or follower and turn them into a diehard loyal super fan through all the communication points that Instagram gives you. They wanted that to be the hub for all forms of communication. So you basically have any tool you could want to possibly use. And I could say that like having a one-on-one connection with someone is far easier to do there than probably on other platforms. And especially with like the tools of like a voice message or a video message, like you can really create connection over there with your followers or with people you're trying to connect with right through Instagram.
I'm already seeing some questions coming in too in chat, but we're going to be taking questions in a minute. And one of the ones that came up a couple times before we started saying hello to people was shorts. And we were talking about TikTok, and Instagram also has Reels. Yes. Taking like the three, what are your thoughts on all those? Like I'm personally very hopeful about YouTube Shorts.
Yes.
I'm loving more and more the updates we're getting and just what we can do with it and how well it seems to be fitting into the YouTube ecosystem. What do you think in terms of the short form wave that we're in?
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely the consumer trends don't lie. There's the demand for this kind of content. So as a creator, that's a huge plus for you that you can make something now and repurpose it across 3 different platforms in its native state. Like how you made it can be the same way you could post it on Instagram now, as well as TikTok and Shorts. I think that's huge for efficiency's sake. And then obviously there'll probably be nuances that come with time as to certain things work better on Shorts maybe than on TikTok and things of that nature. But I think it's awesome for saving yourself time and maximizing your output, which is obviously a huge challenge for all creators. So I'm for it. I think there are some drawbacks that come with it, but I'm for the movement.
Do you have any specific drawbacks you want to call out?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, like I think it's almost even changed how some people consume long form content in terms of like what I've seen and noticed how even some of the creators that I watch, they now edit for more of these shorter, it's seeming attention spans. So I think that's one element, is how people are we already had a quick desire for these instant impact dopamine hits. And I think it's only been exaggerated now because TikTok is so much of a mainstay now.
Have you noticed, and this is a question for you, Ben, and like everyone in the chat, over the last 6 months, have you noticed a subtle shift in what YouTube recommends you in terms of not necessarily Shorts, because Shorts has its own independent shelf, but I've noticed that I get recommended now landscape content, which is very short, perhaps less than a minute. And it feels as if that's almost been through osmosis, or like it's stereotypically just seeped into my recommendations without me even realizing it.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. It's really funny that you framed it like that, because that's exactly what I had noticed too. And even the other day, very ironic, I went through my history, and so many of them were very, very short videos, even though they were in like the full orientation. So yeah, it's probably something that YouTube's picking up on, that it's working, and just pushing that out.
I mean, we've long discussed how you need a lot of watch time. You want to make longer videos in the hopes that you capture people's attention for as much of that video as possible. Therefore, it gets recommended more, et cetera, et cetera. I wonder if this is a change in the way YouTube's going to be recommending content. Maybe it already has changed, because I've noticed the same thing. Not only in my own recommendations, but as a creator who's experimented with Shorts, I've found myself making shorter yet 16:9 videos.
Yeah.
And I've actually had them kind of take off in a couple instances, and I'm like, oh dang, that's not even a short. There it goes. So it's I'm kind of wondering the same thing. Is watch time dead?
I'm really curious to see how they truly integrate Shorts, because I think it's obviously still very much an early stage thing, but because of how reliant watch time has been for like how YouTube views channels and whatnot, I'm very curious to see how they truly integrate it.
I think they're pretty much there, Ben, if I'm honest about it, because I thought it was going to be an independent app, but now I don't know if we've all got this just yet, but in the app, they're removing the explore button at the bottom of the navigation thing and replacing it with Shorts. And then also on a home screen where you currently see those suggested, I guess, tags or like video topics, they're adding a Shorts button there. And it feels as if that's pretty much not the end of it, but that's their big movement to say, right, we have all of this new content, viewers, can you please start watching it? And apparently 6.5 billion views a day are already suggesting that people are.
Oh, yeah. My app's still not like that. So I'm very curious to see how that changes things.
So I want to get into Q&A here. I want to start shifting gears a little bit, but there's a couple things we need to take care of first. So first and foremost, I got to get my screen up. So excuse me for 1 second as I hope to get this right.
I'll fill for a little bit, Dan, and ask you, have we got a new sponsor since I was not here? It looks like we're sponsored by PlayStation now.
I saw that in the back.
Yes.
It's like a really good ornament. Thank you. It's too good.
Is it distracting? I've just been trying it out.
It's just funny.
So no, thanks for pointing that out. I forgot I even had that back there, because I put it on the shelf and I've just been kind of trying it in streams. So this is Ben's channel. If you haven't already, go feel free to check it out, just to give you an idea of some of the content you have here on your channel. Ben, if you want anything here you want to point people to specifically as like a good My First Ben Levitt video?
I guess it depends on what your goals are. I have playlists for each platform depending on what your primary focus is. And I typically recommend people start with 1 or 2 platforms instead of trying to do everything at once, because it's unlikely you're going to be able to do all of them well. So focus on doing 1 or 2 right, and then building from there. So really depending on what your focus is, there's a playlist for you.
Some nice subtle branding there with the Instagram color scheme as a backdrop for the Instagram videos. It's nice association for the viewer if they are finding your content on search or discovering Ben for the first time. It's like, oh, this person's talking about Instagram, and I know that just from the thumbnail background.
Yeah, and I noticed we actually did some split tests and saw a pretty dramatic difference in click-through rate versus other colors. So yeah, it's become pretty much the go-to.
So Ben's channel is linked down below. Be sure to go check it out. And once again, Ben, thank you for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
We're also going to talk a little bit for a second before we get into Q&A about the Vid Iq Summer Sale that's just started. So I guess it started last week. So I was gone last week, so I'm all out of whack. But we want you to start creating this summer, and we want to help you out. So the way this works is we actually have a couple different deals. You can get a boost plan for an entire year, and that's up to 30% off compared to the total monthly price. And then with that, you're going to get a free one-on-one coaching session with one of our vidIQ channel coaches. That's when they sit down with you one-on-one in a call, and you get to actually go over your channel with somebody who's going to help you get on the road to growing, taking it to the next level. So that is an awesome value. And then you get the whole year of all of our suite of tools, the vidIQ Boost suite of tools. And then you also get access to private training courses too. So a lot there. But if the annual plan isn't in your budget or it's just not in the cards right now, you can also get a pro or boost monthly plan, and that's 20% off for the first 12 months. So as you can see, the timer is ticking on that, and there's also limited coaching spots. So the link should be down below and maybe even pinned right now in chat. I have a different chat up, so I can't see the pins, unfortunately. But it's vidiq.com/bonus. Be sure to go check it out and upgrade your account now before it's too late. You only got like 5 days.
Good
so there you go. That's what we had to get to before we can get into the Q&A. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put up the ticker here, and I'm going to put up this here. Now, the way this works is we ask you to start asking some questions. Use the hashtag question in front so we kind of know when you're talking to us. There's a lot of conversations happening right now in chat. And we're going to start taking your questions. We also, since Ben is here and we've kind of gone over some of the different things he covers on his channel, we're very, very interested in questions that involve YouTube and its connection to social media. So specifically today, if you have questions like that, you're going to notice that we kind of favor those questions. So get your questions ready. And it looks like we already have some coming in.
So a couple of things here, Dan. I'm going to enable slow mode. Last week, because I ran the live stream by myself last week, and I set it to 2 minutes. And that seemed to be a good measure. So I think shall we start with 90 seconds this week?
Yeah.
What this basically means, folks, is that you can only post a message every minute and a half, 90 seconds. And that's not because we're trying to stop you commenting. It's because it's really hard for us to pick up. Why is that not working? Let me try again. It's really hard for us to follow the chat when there's so many questions. So try to frame your questions just as we're ending one question and moving on to the next one. And also, Dan, I just want to check with you. This is a technical question. I set this live stream to private last week and then set it to public afterwards. And I think what that did is it ruined our connection to the chat. So I couldn't see any of the chat on StreamYards. So I had to screen share the live stream chat from the live stream itself. So that was a little tip for anybody, and myself included. Really annoying.
I'll tell you to fix that, because I had the same thing happen the first time we did this.
Right.
And the way, because I did the same thing, the way you have to do it is you can set it in StreamYard to schedule, right? Like you normally would, but instead hit private in StreamYard. And then when you go to finally schedule it, do it in StreamYard. Don't do it on the YouTube dashboard. If you go to the YouTube dashboard, that seems to screw everything up.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So I edit the description on StreamYard. I do it. So if anyone here uses StreamYard, just a tip. And StreamYard, if you're watching, it's a bug, and it's we can't do fun things like take questions and put them on the screen when that happens. All right. So has anyone seen any questions they would like to start with here? I haven't looked at all. I'm sorry.
I'm seeing one about Twitter a lot. I don't know if it's the same person that's making it pop up or what.
Is there a name?
Looks like Start Game YT.
Start Game YT.
Yeah, I've got him.
Okay.
This one.
Yeah, so I think Twitter is one of the most slept on platforms out there because I think it's probably the least sexy, if you will. People don't think there's a lot going on there, partially because it's old and that is also primarily text. But what I would say from YouTube specifically, I don't know if there's a better place to get potential collaborations than over on Twitter, because almost everyone that I know, their smallest audience is on Twitter. So there's far less noise. Plus, they're more than willing to interact with people via tweets. So I think that's one of the best places that you can go to find other creators in your community and start collaborating with them from there and building relationships too.
On Twitter, there's, I think, a lot of people who are kind of new to it and maybe new to YouTube and they want to start promoting on Twitter. The one thing to keep in mind is Twitter, like YouTube, has an algorithm that is trained to know when people are going to ignore content and then therefore suggests it less. So a long time strategy on Twitter, I'm sure, Ben, you could attest to this and maybe even dive deeper if you want, but a long time strategy has been to not over self-promote. If you only post links to your videos on Twitter and you don't participate in any other discussions, people don't engage with those links and there's nothing else for Twitter to publish to people. So over time, your Twitter account just becomes kind of dormant. No one's interacting with anything.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more. I think that also emphasizes the importance of, again, creating kind of for that platform specifically. So say if you're trying to target gamers that are interested in a specific game, like you're going to be better off like potentially making either like a meme or like a relatable quote around that game or like the community that's attached to that game that could potentially go viral and bring way more people to your streams, your channels, etc., than just simply promoting your latest video on repeat.
Yeah, we've really scaled back video promotion on our Twitter feed, haven't we, Dan? Then we used to do at least a couple a day, and now it's maybe once or twice a week. I'm sure Dan Hitch would know more exactly about that. Just broadly on this question of, using Twitter to advertise your channel. Ben, I can't remember if we asked this in the podcast, which everybody should check out, by the way. We have spoken to Ben before. Is there an inflection point for a YouTube channel to say, right, I've got 500 subscribers, or I average 250 views per video in the first 24 hours. Yeah. Now it's time to start promoting this on other social media platforms, because I guess once you start to think about other social media platforms, you're dividing up your time and resources. So I was just wondering if there's any general guidance you have for somebody starting brand new. They're obviously going to focus on one social media platform to begin with, but when should there be that point of starting to think about Twitter, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera?
So I would say to have the accounts made and attached to your YouTube channel from day one.
Yeah.
Because if you do develop a core fan, they're going to come there regardless. And then even if you're starting from that point where maybe you only have 50 people, you know that those are your 50 very loyal supporters, and you can conduct and create accordingly to that. So I think that would be the short answer, is make them now. And then when it comes to creating content, I think the first part you mentioned there is very critical. Like, is what you're creating for this additional platform taking away from your primary focus? So I think that's what I love Twitter, is that it is very low weight to create over there. Like, pumping out a tweet is like sending a text. I'm certain everyone watching this sends tons and tons of texts per day. If you were to do that via Twitter, you could be posting once a day in like 20 seconds a day. So I think that have it going from the beginning, and then start to focus if you see some returns over there. And it may not be necessarily in pure growth, but it could be in terms of how tight people become with you because of what you're doing over on the other platforms.
Short reviews with an "oh no," that's what I've been using Twitter for. I love the use of emojis there.
Yeah, so, yeah, very well done there.
I just wanted to quickly just wrap that up by saying, next time you're on Twitter, make your tweets just like you do videos. Make your tweets about the audience. Don't just post your video every day, but instead say, give us some tips. Tweet out some tips or a funny clip or something like that.
Looks like you got a fan here, official Leia Jude. Ben, I love your channel. Been watching for a while. Having a hard time moving people from Instagram to YouTube. Has over 1,000 followers, but none of them will move to YouTube. Any tips?
Yeah, for sure. So I think you could incentivize them in some way. So through your story or another piece of content, say that you have something that is exclusive or like private, only accessible via the YouTube video. That could be one way to get people over to the actual channel, and then hopefully they subscribe. But I wouldn't stress too much on focusing on trying to convert that exact audience over there. Focus on creating content specific to YouTube, and then YouTube will help you find an audience. And then eventually they'll come together. And just because they may not have subscribed doesn't necessarily mean they're not watching. And that's what I found very early on with YouTube, is that a lot of people that I just assumed weren't watching the videos because they weren't subscribed, they actually were. They just, a lot of people don't even think to subscribe, right? So I think that's another tool too, is actually reminding people in the videos for that. But yeah, that's one method, is incentivize them to come.
So Dan, I've tried to be director here and put us on like thirds, but I've noticed that both of our screens are slightly to our left of camera. So it means that you're just looking at the back of my head and I'm just looking at Ben, who's looking like directly on. It looks as if we're all looking at something, which is a bit strange. So I'm going to switch that back.
I have to I have to stay in a certain part of the frame when you do that.
All right, let's go back to this. Unless people like that one, do let us know in the comments.
I don't like it. You can use it if you
want.
We
can make you the hero, Dan. There we go.
I don't need to be. We should make Ben the hero.
All right, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. But now it's as if we're both looking off screen. Yeah, can we switch? Oh no, that doesn't work, does it? Okay,
that kind of
works. We're having too much fun over StreamYard. All right. So how about, let's see here. I got to refresh chat.
I can pick this one.
Oh, okay.
This one from Tanner Animations, because I think often you can get people to say, check out my Twitter feed for this giveaway, or push them to the social media platforms. But our giveaway is a good way to build channels in general.
I think they can be. I think that there's a few different things that you can really amplify the effectiveness of a giveaway to do that. I think one is if you attach it to a video that's very niche specific, that means that the traffic that's going to come from it is all going to be interested in that content because they click the video, right? So obviously the people that are converting, if it's a very niche specific video, are interested in that video because they wouldn't have known that there was a giveaway from that. So I've actually found great success with helping to really grow my channel doing that, with just like, I think it was like a $50 Amazon gift card or something like that, but just incentivizing that additional engagement. That's one way to do it. And then if you can even make the giveaway niche specific too, if that's possible, that can also be tremendously helpful too, because if one of the necessary things is for people to share it with their own community, that people typically associate with very similar interested people with that are all interested in the same things. So if it's very niche specific, that's very valuable for them to share it with their audience, because chances are they're pretty similar to those people.
How do you prevent giveaways just being a way of, I guess it's a couple of rungs below? From a very basic perspective, it's sometimes considered something that's a couple of rungs below buying subscribers in, or something that you're incentivizing people to take a call to action, to possibly win a prize. But after the giveaway is done, how do you keep that, I guess, lead, subscriber, follower hot and actually interested in your content for value? Because people ask us this all the time, like, should I do giveaways on your channel? And my general response is, yeah, absolutely do a giveaway, but don't do it with the idea of building a community. Do it as a way to give back to your existing community something of value and a reward.
Yeah, I would agree with that for the most part. I think that it's a great way to further the connection that you have with your existing community.
Yeah.
But as we all know, the majority of people that watch our content aren't subscribed to us, right? So that little, even if it's a small gift, could be what pushes them over the edge. And I think that's what really emphasizes the point of making it specific to your niche, so that the people who got through that doorway, which is the title and thumbnail, there's at least some loose interest in there. Like, for example, with the giveaways that I ran they were very like Instagram or social media specific videos. So I know that even the additional traffic that came from it was people who were very interested in these topics, because the title and thumbnail wouldn't interest my mom or my dad. Or like, there's not general interest titles and thumbnails. I think that's how you can really take that a step further. And that comes down to just understanding who you're trying to target.
So I got one here. Do you think that a shorts YouTuber can take their shorts and repost them to TikTok?
I think absolutely, in my opinion. Yeah.
As long as you own that content, and you're interested in TikTok, I mean, I don't see that being an issue at all. I guess it just comes down to goals. That still could be some work. If you're somebody who makes shorts in a square format, for example, TikTok really only supports them in vertical, so you'll have to, make two of the same short essentially. It just depends on how you approach it and then why you want to do that in the first place.
TikTok, I think, also has far better content creation tools right now, as opposed to YouTube Shorts. It might be better to do it the flip way, in that you make it on TikTok and then upload it to Shorts. Forgive me if I'm wrong here, but you can download a TikTok video from your channel without the watermark, so that it has a pure.
You'll need an extra app, but you can do it.
Right. Okay.
If you have the raw file, though, you shouldn't have to even go that route.
Yeah, but if you're making it within the TikTok app,
right.
They put it on all those. Even if you save it as a draft and try to save it from there, they'll put it on it.
Yeah, I mean, in Shorts, like, what tools do you have available right now?
I see what you
I mean,
mean.
you have the music tools, which, so obviously if you're using audio sampling, then you have to really think about natively posting it on only that social platform, because then you're going to run into copyright issues. But TikTok has all of these filters and things that you can do, whereas YouTube Shorts, just right now, you can put text on a video, and I think that's pretty much it from what I can remember. Maybe add some color filters, but it's pretty limited in that sense right now.
So there you go. Thank you for that question. I got to refresh chat here. Okay. Oh, you got it. Okay.
Sorry. Was it this one, Dan?
Yep.
Cool.
I'm new to the YouTube platform. Do you recommend using Facebook ads and Google ads to glean and grow some subscribers? If yes, why? If no, why? Please. Thank you.
So who wants to tackle this first?
I'll start with this one. So if you're a content creator and you're making, let's say travel channel videos or whatever, and you think, okay, I'm going to take these videos or clips from them, turn them into ads, and then publish them on YouTube, publish them Google, Facebook, wherever you're publishing them, I really don't see that as a great way to grow a channel. This is just my opinion. I feel pretty strongly about it because I would like to grow my channel organically. I think it could be, ads are great if you run a business, if you sell a product or service. If you're just trying to grow an audience, I want more subscribers, I want more returning viewers, I think what you're going to end up getting is a video that gets a ton of views and a retention graph that looks like the first 5 seconds 100% and then drops to 0 immediately if it's like an ad on YouTube itself and people skip after 5 seconds, and then I don't know what that would do for you in terms of your long-term growth, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. I would say I don't advise ads to grow your YouTube channel at all. In almost any cases, the sole exception would be potentially if you're a business that has something to sell now and you're trying to sell that thing, then that would be the exception. And then as a result, that would probably grow your channel too. But if you're looking to build an audience, like you said, I would not advise it whatsoever. I just don't think that the return that you'd get from it would make it worthwhile. And the time and money would be so much better spent in places that's going to improve the reason why people would subscribe to you in the first place, which is great content.
If you have the budget, I mean, why not hire a thumbnail editor or something,
exactly.
just to improve. Rob, sorry, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, I was going to agree with you both 99.9% in that if you need to pay people to watch your content, you're in trouble.
Yes.
Having said that, when I've been in some local YouTube groups, there was one person who put Google ads on his videos because he specifically wanted to rank for them, to get them up to the top of the search terms, just to like give his channel a bit of a kickstart. And I think his videos were about accountancy. So that was something that where you could see an idea of, you get to the top of the search rankings for a bit of paid ads, and then you can maybe run off a momentum there. And his channel has grown since, but the ultimate argument is how much does paid ads help, and it's impossible to prove that. So I think we'd all agree that paying ads is not a good idea, but there have been 1 or 2 exceptions, I think, where it has been successful for some creators.
All right, thank you for your questions. We got a lot here, and they're also kind of long, so forgive the silence as we scroll through and read.
We're going to keep saying it every week, StreamYards, even though you're not watching. Please allow us to stack questions so that we can just bring them up very quickly without having to start looking for the next one. Oh, all right. This is 2019, this question.
How do you feel about IGTV? Does it actually improve your growth? So I assume that they're asking on Instagram specifically. And so from a macro view, for like a top-down holistic view, IGTV can help you grow, but it's far more of a nurturing tool. So it's far more to get tighter with your existing followers, more so than it is to attract new people. There's just not the reach there that there probably would be with a Reels or a Reel. I don't know if what you'd call a singular Reel. I think it's just a Reel. And then, but with that being said, there's also far less people creating IGTV content. So you do also have more of an opportunity to kind of stand out there, even if it is a smaller pond, and you can still be the bigger fish in that pond. So I think it should be part of your strategy of all the content types on Instagram. I would probably make it one of your last points of emphasis, but it is good to sprinkle in there, especially for the opportunities that to really nurture someone that only long form content could really do that effectively.
Sorry to put you on the spot here, Ben, and if you don't have an answer, no problem. Can you think of any IGTV examples of somebody who's really leveraged that specific video platform? Because I always feel as if a video platform could be maligned, but then because nobody uses it, there's like 2 or 3 creators who really leverage it really well.
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I think the answer is probably the reason why it hasn't blown up is that I don't know of anyone who's become an IGTV creator. Like, there's some people who have done it very effectively as a supplement to what they're already doing, but I haven't seen anyone, and I hope I'm wrong, but I haven't seen anyone strictly or primarily grow off that.
So I did find a question here that's kind of interesting. How can I find small channels in my area to collaborate with that are also in my niche? And I do think this plays right into the conversation we're having about social media. Before you start, Ben, I was going to say the first thing that came to mind when I read this question was actually Reddit. There's every community, city, town, it seems like there's a subreddit for them. And, you know, now those are very broad. It's like everyone talking mostly about the town that they live in. But it could be one place to start if you find that there are creators milling about sharing some of their content in there. You know, what do you think though, Ben?
I would agree with that too. I hadn't even thought of it, but that's an ingenious way to start doing it. In addition to that, I'd say Facebook groups would be a great way. You could even do like YouTubers in your surrounding area, or even like YouTube more specific groups. And then if you were to target just strictly your location, I would say try to open up who you'd be looking to talk to, because it may be unlikely that in your city or town you're going to find someone in your exact niche. But if they're in the YouTube space, they're still worthwhile to connect with them and talk YouTube. There's always opportunities to grow from there. But I think to actually find these people, I'd say Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit threads.
I have to at least try and say this channel name, Boomerangatang. That just rolls off the tongue. Yeah, that's pretty good. Name. I just want to add, although given the size of your channel, this is probably not available to you, but YouTube does have a tool in the audience tab which says videos your audience is watching, channels your audience is watching, and they're usually of a similar size. So those would be perfect people to start watching, commenting on their videos, get yourself into the community, and then maybe start to think about possible collaboration there as well. But as I say, I don't know when that appears for channels. It feels to me like it's in the thousands of subscribers, tens of thousands of views mark. But do check it out just in case you do have it.
So there you go. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I found this one from Timmy the Gamer. What's the best platform to promote a gaming channel? And again, I thought Reddit would be a good place here, but Dan, you probably know a lot about this.
You got to be careful with Reddit, just because most subreddits about maybe a particular game have rules against just going in and, you know, starting to spam your videos. You don't want to do that anywhere, to be honest. Discord servers, and like we talked about earlier with Twitter, for example, you can do that. There's no rule against it, but if you don't contribute to any conversations, Twitter might not recommend your tweets. What I will say though is you want to go into the communities that do talk about the game. And if there is a place to promote some content, great. The other way I've seen this done effectively is you use your content to help solve problems in real time. So if you're in a Discord and people are talking about this game and they're stressing because they can't beat this level, for example, and you happen to have a video on it, you're like, hey, you know, I just noticed you were talking about this, how to beat this boss or how to do this glitch or whatever it is. It's actually in this video. And then if you want to be really good, you actually link the timestamp So you don't just link the whole 20-minute video, you put it right at that timestamp so it looks like you're being super, super helpful, not, oh, cool, an excuse to post my videos, because moderators don't like that, So that's my take on it. Does anyone else have anything to add?
I would also throw TikTok as a great place to do that if you put in the effort to create specifically for TikTok. Like I've seen some big streamers and gaming channels start or really energize their channel from TikTok content, but you can't just, it's unlikely you can just repurpose clips that you already have and then put them on there. You'd have to create something new. But if you can, and you can stand out that way, then it can be a great way to get a ton of traffic and then get those to trickle over to your channel.
I was just going to ask the question since you brought up Discord. Do we have a Discord gaming channel within vidIQ, Dan?
Yeah, we have a gaming section.
So yeah, I mean, folks, we do have a thriving Discord community to take this conversation further. So make sure to check out the link. Go on, Dan H, pin Discord. Let's get some more people in Discord if you can.
vidIQ.com/Discord.
There you go. There you go.
So we have a section for a lot of the broad niches over there, So definitely cool to check that out. We have a bunch of people in there sharing different. Sorry, didn't mean to click that. Sharing different thumbnail ideas and things of that nature. So sorry, I was trying to riff a little bit as I look for a question, but I realized I can't talk and read at the same time. So my plan failed. I think this is kind of a similar question to what we were just talking about, but it's the first thing I saw. How do you think about posting on multiple social media platforms for a gaming channel? And what I imagine they mean is you have a gaming channel, so you start an Instagram, you start a Twitter, you start a Facebook, you start everything you can. Post. I'll let Ben start because I've talked a lot.
Yeah, I would say that, like I said before, have them set up, have them as places to go if people want to. But I would focus your content creation efforts on where you think that you're going to get the most out of it. And that's very likely going to be YouTube. So I would spend most of your time and effort really getting good at YouTube. I think a lot of people, before they've even figured that out, try to take on more. And it's just slowing the progress and where they could be on YouTube, which would have led to more followers on Instagram anyways. So I think focus on what you're really trying to do, and then add in supplemental things when it makes sense to do so. But you got to walk before you run.
Ben, what do you think about the community tab within the YouTube platform? Because I guess if you have over 1,000 subscribers, that might be the first branching out of your social posting that isn't video content.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the community tab. I think I think it's shown that it can really push to people that aren't even subscribed to you, which is truly crazy. So again, I think it comes down to understanding like the subculture of your niche and what would really resonate to them. And if you can speak their language or talk about a point that they're very interested in or a very polarizing topic, that could go beyond people that are currently watching it and get some people finding you. So I think that's awesome. And then also, how many subscribers do you need to start posting stories on YouTube? Is it 10,000?
Oh, yeah, I think it's 10,000 plus. It's still weirdly in beta.
Yes,
so yeah,
absolutely.
you have to get an invite. Yeah.
So I think that's a tool too. I think obviously, again, it comes down to sharing what you're trying to share to the right people. But I've found that the community tabs worked fairly well for even me, and I haven't done it as much as I probably should have, as well as stories too, because there's just not as many out there.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what the long-term future of stories is, because shorts and stories kind of do the same thing, but stories allow you to directly answer comments, which is really good. And I've noticed that a lot of big creators, especially like Mr. Beast, he'll just post stories where he tells people to subscribe to his channel. Basically. And I think a lot of people are doing that. Like if you see a red button here, then you haven't subscribed, because they assume these stories are reaching a new audience. So I think YouTube needs to make a decision there whether stories are going to stay, because if Shorts was in its own app, then I could understand why stories might sit in the YouTube app, but having stories and Shorts together makes no sense to me at all.
A minute ago, Ben, you were talking about just how to approach having all these platforms and stuff. My philosophy on this, and I'm certainly, when it comes to all these different social platforms and how they connect to YouTube, not an expert by any means, but my philosophy has always been, if you're going to start something, you probably want to have the time to do it the right way, you know? So starting a Twitter, like we talked about, just to post links and stuff wouldn't necessarily be giving it the time it needs to grow. So would you, like me, caution people not to just jump into every single platform, even if you save your name on them just for the future? Or do you think that there is a way to repurpose content and do that effectively without, you know, putting in necessarily tons and tons of time?
Yeah, I think, yes, secure the username so you have at least that uniform presence across as many channels as possible is awesome. So definitely lock that down. And then at the very least, if you want to show that you are present there, I would have at least maybe a bit of content just so that if someone does come to you, they've seen that you've posted here before, so it's likely you're going to post again. So that could be very simple stuff. But in terms of like straight repurposing your content, there's not a lot of niches where I see that do well, because when you make a YouTube video, it's not intended to be typically consumed in less than 60 seconds unless it was shot that way. It's very difficult to edit it down in a way that will be fit to what people are expecting and what they're conditioned to like in the different formats. So I think you're 9 times out of 10, you're probably better served even like repurposing the same, like basically refilming the video, but in a way that is specific to say Instagram or TikTok. And then for my stuff, like educational content, I can go far more in depth on YouTube, but I could probably take out 2 or 3 of the points, then make it a reel that would be far more hard hitting. And I probably couldn't do that with just editing. So I think it really depends on your situation, but I think I'd be very realistic with what your content is. And if it would work, simply just crop down to be the right aspect ratio.
Buxwood Football Academy UK, what is the best way to collaborate with others? And does this only really work for gaming channels? I think we'll all agree that it can work for any type of channel of any video topic and any niche.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. There we go, Dan. You're absolutely right. My general response to this type of question is always try to provide value first within their community, whether it's through comments or whether it's, you know, like, I guess you're a football academy, so maybe you could send a challenge whereby you do like a football skills challenge, and then you challenge another channel. Say, can you beat that in some ways? That might be an interesting way to start the collaboration. But other thoughts, gentlemen?
I'm a huge advocate of collaboration. I think it's a great way to make the creating experience a little more fun, getting more people involved, because oftentimes as a creator, it can be very independent. So it's even nice from that perspective. And then also, if you guys, or if you both are targeting similar audiences, then it can be a total win-win for both sides.
What is Buxwood Football Academy? Is that a specific sports team, or is that more broad?
I guess it's a football academy. It'll be, let's say it's Buxwood is in London, and it'll be an academy for, it's usually for different age children, like 6 to 18, and they're training kids to get to a certain standard where they might be scouted by professional clubs and then brought into their academies. Or is it community based, where it's just a local sports community type of thing?
I was just trying to imagine an example of what this might look like for this channel. So if they were to be helping, you know, kids prepare to, you know, move up in this world, maybe what you would do is collaborate with other creators who maybe have some authority, you know, in that part of the journey, and you could have them interviewed on your channel or something like that. I was thinking it was a channel that specifically covered like one football team, and that idea to me would be going to a similar size, you know, YouTuber to yourself that covers the rival football team. Say, hey, do you want to do like a back and forth, like have like a you know, 20-minute like interview about our teams and whatever, like just kind of put yourself out there a little bit. But there's a number of ways, and today everything is done remotely more and more too. So it'd be very, you know, easy for, I think, any channel to sit down with somebody in their space and just have a conversation about, you know, whatever topic is trending right now.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Very easy to get out there once you just start, and then you'll typically have fun doing it too. So, in my opinion, it's awesome.
But, okay, this one's not necessarily related to what we're talking about, but I have to bring this one up because it's really interesting. What should I do if another YouTuber has uploaded my video idea to YouTube. I mean, without knowing more about this Flint Fox, I would say you were too late. You didn't act on your idea. You procrastinated. This is what I always think about people thinking about making YouTube channels or thinking about a video idea. As you're thinking, somebody else is going to go do it, because there are so many creators out there who have that drive and that passion to make content. So if it's a video idea, you can't copyright an idea necessarily. It's all about the execution of that idea. And if it's different to your thoughts, Flint Fox, then I'm afraid you were too slow. Now, what you can do is a response to that video, and you make your video better and the best video on that idea, and hopefully YouTube reward you with that. But yeah,
it could be a good thing though. If another creator got to something before you and that video is doing well, there could be a thirst for more.
Yeah.
So you want to now hurry to get that your version of that video out as fast as you can, because that can actually help you.
Yes. And I actually have a very specific situation where this exact same thing happened to me. So I was the first one to make a similar kind of video. And then within days, there was someone who's a channel in my niche that made like almost line for line the exact same video. So if you're going to do that, definitely make it your own, because this channel, they even took my jokes and they were bad jokes. So definitely take the time to make it your own. But that was exactly what you just said there. There was no video out in the space, period. So when they saw this idea and I walked through how to do it, they very quickly did it. And it's now like their second best performing video because of the attention that my video was getting, and that's then trickling down to theirs as well. So there's definitely right and wrong ways to do it. But just because an idea has been done doesn't mean that you couldn't benefit also from doing it. You may just not get the same level of benefit that the original creator did.
I've done the opposite, where somebody made a video that I thought, hey, that's pretty cool, and I have something I would like to add to this little trend that I've just discovered through this very popular video. And so I made my version almost the same video, but with just a twist, just my own twist on it. And now I'm easily competing with them view to view. And they were like a week ahead of me too. So it's
that's the right way of doing it.
Right. It is a good thing when, if you thought of something and somebody else is kind of jumping on it, maybe a few people are jumping on it, that means not only are you onto something, but maybe the viewers are also into this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to show the channel. You got over 1,000 subscribers, and the views are really good on your videos. Like 40,000 for that video in the last 2 weeks, and these are all Minecraft videos. So my simple response to you is, you need to be more consistent in this gaming space, especially Minecraft. I know Dan's going to start to talk about don't make too many videos because you don't want to blow out, but burn yourself out. But
well, this is not enough videos in 2 months then.
But so yeah, I mean, you'd be thinking like 2 or 3 videos a week in this space, wouldn't you, Dan? To have that, to really build up your audience, and then they're not going to care if another creator is potentially swiping some of your video ideas.
Look, like they didn't need to do daily to get a video that went to 40,000 views, which is fantastic. And you know, if you only have the capacity to make a couple videos a month, then that's all you have the capacity for. But on YouTube, I think there's a limit, but the more you can do, the better off you're going to be. And when I see a channel that's been around for 2 months and only has about 5 videos, you know, you could be doing, imagine how many more 40,000 plus views you could have gotten at this point. And by the way, fantastic thumbnails, nice channel branding. So good luck to you.
I think you briefly mentioned this a little earlier, Ben, and I think it might be interesting to jump into this topic a bit more, because people know I have very strong opinions on this. I've noticed many creators show people their analytic of how many people have subbed to the channel and how many have not. So what are the pros and cons of showing this analytic? And I think this is, when you go into YouTube analytics, you can get a specific analytic that shows you subscribed and not subscribed. And for most people, it's around 60, 70% plus people are not subscribed. I've seen some examples where it's 95% plus. And people, sometimes they use it as a channel panner, and they definitely use it in their videos to try and coax those regular viewers to subscribe. Yeah.
So I would agree with your approach on it. Like, truthfully, subscribers don't mean that much anymore. It's more about views. But for people who are trying to get those people to convert, they're what would be considered very warm leads, right? Like if they are watching your stuff consistently, this could be the creative way of nudging them to just simply click that button. because people get into such a rhythm of just consuming content, even if you are one of their favorite creators. And I even myself sometimes do this, where I'll watch someone's videos all the time, and then months or years down the line, I'll look and I'll be like, oh, I'm not subscribed. Like, I didn't even know. But that also speaks to how effective YouTube is at showing you what you want to see. So it really comes down to, if that's a big goal of yours, to get to a specific subscriber milestone, that could be the benefit. Beyond that, I don't see it having too much of an impact either way, unless you go on and on about it and then it impacts your retention. So there's no, I don't see any huge pros or cons, to be honest.
I've seen this done in a really nice, elegant way. I always refer to this channel. It's one of my favorites, called Jelly's Marble Runs, or Yellies. I think I'm probably always saying it wrong, but the big channel. It's all about marbles, racing, and doing different events. And they have a commentator who commentates them as if they're live sporting events. It's really well done.
Awesome.
And during the preamble, getting into an event, he'll go, by the way, did you know that only 8% of people are subscribed to this channel who watch these videos? So don't forget. It's just slip it in there and then continue on with the video.
Mm-hmm.
They don't bash over the head with it. They don't show the percentage on the screen. It's just like a quick way to remind everybody, like, hey, you're not the only one who's not subscribed and also watching these all the time. So why don't you consider subscribing so you never miss them?
And I think creativity is the key there, because of what you're trying to achieve. Like, you're trying to achieve. You're trying to get someone to do something that they typically don't do. So how are you going to get them to do that? You're going to have to be creative in terms of capturing their attention to motivate that. So I think that's a great point there.
I'm just doing some photoshopping in the background because I want to do a community post, which I'm going to show you. So give me a couple of minutes, Dan, and Ben, and then I'll show you my masterpiece.
No problem. All right, so we'll be on our own to look for some questions here. Okay, here we go. Where can I promote my relaxation channel? Most Facebook groups and subreddits don't allow self-promotion.
So I think a great place would be TikTok or Instagram. And I think I would focus more on quicker tips of like how to achieve the state that you're trying to help people achieve. And there are so many ways that you could do this on Instagram and TikTok. And the greatest part about TikTok, and soon to be Instagram Reels, as more people are creating there, is that trends always are popping up. And your content will do well if you ride that trend, even if you incorporate it with your niche. So I'm sure if you've spent any time on TikTok, you've seen trends all over the place. And there are constant ways to merge that with your niche. So then you're getting the extra reach from the viral trend, but it's also going to be targeted in a way because you're referring right to the people who you're trying to target. So I think those are two great platforms that you can create content on fairly low weight.
So this question for me is too juicy not to sink into, even though it's a pretty general question, but I still would like to hear your thoughts, Ben, because I have some thoughts on this, and they're pretty specific, and they're always changing too. But is starting a gaming YouTube channel too competitive? Now, again, I do want to talk specifically as much as we can today about Instagram and TikTok. So I know this is on me, but we've talked about gaming a little bit today, and what the one thing we noticed is that the channel we actually had on the screen, the only one so far, was in fact a Minecraft channel. I don't think starting a gaming channel is too competitive. I think starting a Minecraft channel, you're going to have some hurdles you need to overcome. Starting a Fortnite channel, Apex. Think of when you think of video games and you think of the most popular ones right now, those first ones that pop in your head, that's where the competition is, because that's what everyone thinks of. That's always the go-to. So the channels that stand out that are new are the ones that find a way to cover that game, like Minecraft, in a very cool, specific way that no one else is doing, and they're consistent too. They don't bounce from Minecraft to this to this. They don't go from Minecraft minigame video to Minecraft tutorial videos, then to Minecraft drama videos, if that's a thing. They're always consistent, and that's how you stand out in a very competitive space. Gaming or not, you need to be consistent.
Yeah, I would echo those things nearly identically, because I think depending on which angle you're trying to go down, you have to either be as good or better than the people that are standing out in that space. So if you're going to go on something as widespread as Minecraft, you're giving yourself a tall hill to climb. But if you were in less of a competitive space, you're giving yourself more of an opportunity because there's just less competition out there, which is huge. And it can definitely help you get some quicker wins. I think it's really understanding what the goal is of this channel and where you want to take it.
What would you say is the Instagram equivalent to this quandary? Because now we're talking about gaming YouTube channels. If you wanted an Instagram account that was going to thrive and it was about something broad like gaming. I'm gonna have a gaming Instagram, be the go-to for gaming on Instagram. Like, what would you tell someone who comes to you and asks that?
Yeah, the funny thing is the Instagram equivalent is basically Instagram. Like people are like, should I even do Instagram? Is often the question that I get because there's not many people that go viral straight off of Instagram, but there are definitely examples that do that. But so where Instagram is, because they don't have the sophistication of showing people new content that YouTube does because of how everything's laid out. So there's less traffic to go around. So they're going to take bets on people that they're very sure of what kind of content they are. So the best advice that I could give is try to make it very clear and pretty niche down in terms of what you're offering, because the most difficult part about growing on Instagram is getting past that first barrier or level of trust, because the only way that you really grow rapidly on Instagram is the explore page. And the explore page is essentially Instagram saying, I know you and I trust you and I'm going to show you to more people. And the difficult thing is it typically doesn't happen until you get to like 3,000 to 5,000 followers, which is very difficult to get, especially if you're not in a targeted niche. So I'd say be very niche specific. And much like you said, so even if you were in a generic, like Minecraft page, you'd probably have a lot more success, say like Minecraft comedy or things of that nature. I usually recommend starting down even narrower, and then you can slowly branch out once you've built that authority, because Instagram will give you the benefit of the doubt and that traffic.
I want you guys to take a look, you gaming channels out there who want to cover a big game like Minecraft. I want you to take a look at BlockFacts. They're a newer channel in the space. They're a shorts channel, but they're building a really strong audience because the videos are that you can't get more consistent than BlockFacts. Literally every video is the same exact time, the same time frame on every single one. And it is literally what it sounds like. It is facts about blocks in Minecraft. And that's the channel. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about when I'm saying be consistent. I see Rob is getting close to being done here. I want to get this question. I'm getting this question on deck. Can we answer it, or you?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So is TikTok good for game developers posting videos about their game?
I think it definitely could be, but what I would say is a very good exercise regardless is the story that you're going to tell with it. I think that's what's really important. And I've seen some great story branding work very well over on TikTok. So I would say the effectiveness of you being there is how effective you are going to be in telling a captivating and short form story. That's what will be make or break for if this travels or if it doesn't.
When I see indie developers promoting their game, I get kind of excited because I was once in the space where I was trying to get review keys for indie games all the time. And I had a very specific type of game I'd play on the channel because I was trying to have the channel be like, specific to that style of game. And I would always get offers from indie devs to cover their games, but they were never remotely close to the games I would play on my channel. And it felt like this developer isn't doing their research, So unfortunately, I'm just going to ignore this email. And that's a code that just kind of went to waste. If it doesn't get used, I guess nothing was wasted. But anyway, it was time that was wasted. So another thing you could be doing as you're trying to promote your own game is when you start to look for influencers, small to medium-sized channels who cover games for free, make sure you are taking the time to research each of those creators and that they actually play games similar to yours. Otherwise, you're just going to waste a bunch of time putting out keys to everybody and they're just never going to pick them up. And I'm only saying this, I know it's very specific to this person's question, but I've just been on the other side of that as the creator, and having your inbox filled with like game keys that you didn't ask for and will never use is always like, oh man, I hate that.
Yeah, that fit is so important. And it only takes a bit of time to go through, but I even get so many people reaching out to me that I just know instantly. I'm like, you never watched any of my videos. So even though your generic tagline said that you did, I know that you didn't.
I recommend if anybody ever says that, just reply to them and say, oh, which did you think was my best video and why?
It'd probably be cold if I did that.
I remember when MCNs were just contacting me out of the blue, and I wouldn't always because I couldn't be bothered replying to most of them, but if it was one that tickled my fancy, I thought, oh really? Tell us a bit more about why you think my channel fits into your MCN, and then you just won't get anything back.
100%.
Blind emails. All right, so I've finished. If I wasn't in the middle of a live stream, I'd probably think a bit more about this, but it's a little cringe. So community post for tomorrow is just telling people that they need to fix the issue. That's actually not a bad number. We've had it a lot. Well, I say bad.
Mine, I think.
What is a good or bad number for this? You probably want as many people unsubscribed as possible, because that means that YouTube's sharing your content out to loads of people.
You know, if you want an indicator of this, YouTube, when you set up a membership on your channel, YouTube literally recommends that you have 25% on your subscribed number before you start a membership. Yeah, they say if you don't have this number to 25%, you should probably consider not starting a membership.
Now, the interesting thing about this post then is that, Dan, as you say, sorry, Ben, the community posts reach so many different people who aren't necessarily subscribed to your channel. And I actually think that sometimes these community posts reach viewers who have never even watched one of your videos or have had any experience of your content, which can be really powerful. The one thing I've realized, though, is that in the analytics for this, so in the new analytics that you get for community posts, which are really useful, it doesn't tell you, mind you, there's no subscribe button on a community post, is there? So there's no way to know how much a community post would actually drive subscribers.
Right.
So yeah, because there isn't
if you
a
put a link
button.
You could put a trackable link.
Yeah, that's a bit.
It's a bit hokey.
I know. We'll try that, and we probably won't get any subscribers for it. But there we go. There we are. There we are.
You told them they need to fix it. I mean,
yeah,
you were very clear. All right, we're looking for questions. We're starting now because of that. We're starting to get questions about subscribers and shorts. Should we take one or two, or should we keep it to
I'm game for whatever?
All right. Is having a low percentage for subs on YouTube Shorts bad because they get 6 subs per about 1,000 views? So this person's shorts get about 6 subscribers per every 1,000 views, and I guess they're asking if that's bad.
It's really difficult to answer that right now because we don't know fully what subscribers mean to shorts channels. I know I need to refresh my memory on YouTube have changed something about how subscribers are notified on shorts. As I understand it now, I don't think notifications are sent out to viewers if they subscribe to a channel about new shorts releases, unless they specifically do something when they're subscribed to a channel. But I need to remember that exactly how that works. And also, the discovery of shorts is very different to the discovery of content on a YouTube app, because I think generally you may enter the shorts player through one particular creator, but then you have no idea what's coming next. But that's how you encounter a lot of new creators on YouTube Shorts, because when you're watching long form content, you have a choice of suggested videos. There's 10 or 20 to look at, but YouTube doesn't give you a choice. It decides what you're going to watch. And they are obviously, subscribers have nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's purely based on the Shorts recommendation system, which everybody is still trying to figure out.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say it's bad. We're kind of concerned, I guess, from goals. Like, if you're making a shorts channel and you're trying to get subscribers, we've seen it happen time and time again where those subscribers don't really come back if you start to pivot to long form content. Maybe that's a matter of YouTube recommending things differently, or maybe that's a matter of people who only want to see short form content. But yeah, I think if you noticed it's 6 subs per 1,000 views and you want to make that goal 12, you want to try to double it, test different things, different calls to action, make your shorts snappier, a number of things you can do.
So I've just done a very quick calculation. I don't know if this is right. Jake Velma's got 4 billion shorts, 4 billion views. Mm-hmm. We'll just assume they're all shorts, even though they're not. 5 million subscribers. So that works out a new subscriber every 780 views. But I don't know how that relates back into 6 views per. Well, yeah, so hang on. So if I times that by 6, then I think Jake Velma gets a new subscriber every 4,500 views. I think. I may have got my maths completely wrong there. But that seems to be like a good conversion rate for this channel, Gamer S.
Yeah, I would be more concerned with my returning viewers and new viewers metrics
absolutely
than subscribers. That's the point I forgot to make a second ago. Returning viewers is a much more powerful indication of who is coming back to watch your channel today versus a subscriber who subscribed at one moment in time when they had particular interests, and as time goes on, they may not be interested in you to no fault of your own. My interests have changed over the years. Every year my interests change. For a while I was watching van life videos all the time because I thought it was the coolest thing. I haven't turned on a van life video in probably a year. I guess all the travel and with lockdowns, I got sad. I don't know. I stopped watching them, not because of anything those channels did. So I'm a subscriber of channels I have not unsubscribed to, and I don't watch their content, So returning viewers for the win.
Here's a more specific one. Life of Munchie. What is the best platform to promote a personal blog channel? Immediately I'm thinking Instagram, but Ben, you're the expert here.
Yeah, I think Instagram and TikTok, and I think the strategy would be pretty similar on both. It'd be leveraging trends that you can make relevant to whatever you do. Because even with personal vlogs or blogs, people are typically following them for a specific set of reasons. So you'd want to exaggerate those points that typically bring people to you, whether that's comedy or a hobby that you have or an interest that you have. Definitely go over there. And then use the tools that they give you to interact with people over there in the way that they're used to it. So I'd say TikTok and Instagram.
All right. We're quietly looking for questions.
Got some great questions so far.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for your questions, for being here today. For those of you who hit like on the stream, by the way, thank you for that.
Sorry, that was not the one. I do apologize. It was this one, Dan. This is about setting up a new community, setting up a Discord server for a gaming channel. What rules should I be setting up so that it's still fun but doesn't get too crazy?
Oh, let me rattle off my own rules here. I'll tell you exactly what I think about this. So I've used 10 different rules that for several different Discord servers have been like a template.
Are these the 10 Dan commandments?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
I like round numbers, so I chose 10. So respect and be kind to others. Now, very short rule. First one, pretty vague. I like vague rules because they're very easy to enforce. Your moderators don't have to think too hard. Like, do I feel like they're being respectful and kind to others? No. Goodbye. Or, however that interpretation needs to go. You don't want to overinterpret your rules is what I'm trying to say. I have one that has been a specific problem for me. The servers for everyone don't monopolize the channel. So if one person's just basically don't spam, but if it's less about the spam and more about one person trying to dominate the conversation. And I'll rattle these off really quick. No, not safe for work content. You can't spam or troll. You can't self-promote. You can't share personal information. This is a big one. You don't want your Discord server or your social media or whatever it is to be the home of people sharing sensitive data and getting themselves in trouble. Try to avoid being that house, 10 commandments. Didn't want to read that wrong. Avoid discussion about hot button issues. Don't just DM people without their permission. Links posted must be relevant and safe. You could just turn links off altogether if you don't trust anybody, but Discord also has some automated safety measures too you might want to look into. And you have to follow all Discord's terms of service. That includes being at least 13 years of age and blah, 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 blah. So that's my rules. And I also left a note they could change at any time at moderator's discretion too. If they feel like you're just being a jerk, I'm not going to argue with my moderators. That was very specific. I will say one general thing about starting a Discord. Something I've been kind of wondering for myself is should I have started my Discord when I did? Because I kind of feel like I started mine too soon. This is a personal feeling for me, but if you start your Discord, let's say you're at 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to launch a Discord server. Oh boy, a lot of your subscribers won't. Maybe that means you get about 300 views, 500 views on average on a video. How many of those viewers can you hope to actually join the Discord? If you get a small group in there, maybe 20, join that brand new Discord out of your 1,000 subscribers. What tends to happen is those 20 people form a very strong bond. And you have to be careful to be welcoming to new members after that, because if those people are kind of bonded to each other and they're not welcoming to new members, you're going to have a lot of churn. A lot of people are going to come to your Discord and then they're not going to feel welcome and then they're going to leave. I like to say, if you can start a Discord server when you're a much bigger presence on your platform, be it YouTube, Instagram, wherever it is, you're going to have a bigger influx of people who are new, and it's going to be harder for one small group to dominate the conversation. And I think that'll help you more going forward.
Yeah, I don't think we can add anything to that, Dan. Thank you for the comprehensive answer. Solar Faith Art asks, they recently had their first hate comment. So I think at this point,
congrats.
we should all stop. Yeah, and we should applaud. Like, welcome to YouTube. You've made it. You've made it. More hate comments to ignore. I'm very aware as a content creator, I'm bound to get harsh critics and hate comments, but how would one deal with hate comments? So I think we all have personal approaches to this. So let's just go through them all. Dan, do you want to start? And then we'll go to Ben and then me.
Oh boy. Yes. I ignore them. I completely ignore them. I have a robust blocked words list on my channels, and I don't ever check the held for review comments. And if I see a comment that's not even hateful, for me, it's negative. If I see a negative comment, this is a person that's bringing a negative vibe to my comment section, and I don't want that. I will delete those comments. Oftentimes, I will block the people from ever commenting again. Even with my strict rules that I abide by, I still get affected by them on some level. It's still, depending on your mood, sometimes it's very easy to kind of laugh it off and ignore it. But sometimes when you're in the right mood and you read a comment like that, you're like, so do your best to get those out of your face. That's why I love the held for review section. And I love that YouTube's automatically purging it after a certain amount of time now, because you don't need to read those. If they were held for review, they were probably held for review for a reason. And if there was a mistake, it's one comment that slipped through. It's okay to have comments in there that weren't necessarily meant to be held for review and slip through. Never check held for review if you're somebody who's prone to those kinds of thoughts of oh man, I stink. I got that negative comment. Now I'm just going to let that eat at me. It can eat at me too. Just never check that section. Please tell me someone has something to add. I did it again. I took over.
No. I would say that my approach to hate comments is pretty similar. I think, especially when you're new to them, I would say that most people that I consult with, I say that is actually a milestone, because it means that new people are seeing your content outside of your bubble. So I think you should view it from a positive lens. But I definitely used to interact with them when I was smaller, largely because it was new. I was also more naive than I am now, or at least I like to think so. So what I would say is that it's almost never worth engaging, because you got to think about what's the best case scenario here. And it's probably just wasted time. Realistically, even if everything goes your way and you convince them that they were wrong, they're probably still not going to subscribe. They're probably still not going to be a fan or watch your content. So you're better off just not entertaining it at all and moving on with your day, is what I would say.
If you think of your channel as a business, that is time you cannot afford.
Yes.
So I would say that any engagement is good engagement in the sense that you're driving viewers to care about your content, whether it is positive or whether it is negative. It's how you choose to react to comments one way or another. I fully echo what Ben and Dan have already said in terms of YouTube automation really helps you. And for most comments that are just purely negative and a trolling, you can probably get a gut instinct when you first read it, how much of a negative comment is this? And if it is just trolling negativity, then you just ignore it. Having said that, sometimes there are elements of truth which can be constructive negativity or criticism, which you should maybe think about objectively and perhaps reply to. I have done that certainly on our own vidIQ comments. Now, Dan, you read a really interesting point that if it's a business, then you probably don't want to waste your time on it. Now, if I was running my own YouTube channel, I would actually probably embrace some of this negativity in terms of really ironic, sarcastic responses, but then I would post them on social media and I would turn it into a joke, whereby if you're going to roast me, then I'm going to come back at you as well and have fun with it. But obviously with vidIQ, that's not something really that I want to engage in. I think the closest thing we have is memes of the week, where we allow people to have fun with us in a controlled fashion. So yeah, as going back to the original person, well done on your first hate comment. Hopefully you take our advice on board. And just, I think what hopefully happens is that the more hate comments you get is magnified by 10 of the positive comments you get, because you will get them. But I think as you get positive comments, that almost turns into white noise. Like you get 20 positive comments on a video, but you just focused on that one negative comment, and try not to do that as much as possible.
Yeah. I try to not focus on the positive nor the negative and try to stay as neutral as possible, because I don't want to be on a roller coaster of emotion where one day I suck, the next day I'm awesome. and you don't have any control over who comes across your videos. And just to prove a point here is that one time in one day, I had someone say they loved something about me, and then a totally different person on a different video said they hated that very thing about me. So it's like, that just, therein lies the entire reason why you shouldn't care, because if they're not your subscriber, okay, there's billions of other people out there. You're going to be okay.
Now, having said all of this, Dan, this is where I take the live stream into dangerous waters. Shall we have a 5-minute Russ Wilson segment where I'm allowed to roast people back?
Oh, okay. Okay. As long as I thought, all right. Yes. I didn't want it to just be a one-way Rob-a-palooza, but yeah. I mean,
I guess this is kind of like a soft version of Savage that's about to come out here, perhaps. Because I'm forgetting that we have Savage, who is negativity all around.
Well, you didn't show up today, so
yeah. Oh dear.
You're free to take on the mantle.
So yeah, I guess if people for the next 5 minutes want to, in a comedic fashion, because YouTube comments is going to filter out any bad stuff. Bring it on. And like Dan and Ben, you can bring up the comments. I can't bring up the comments myself. I can't control this. I would say that's actually true, and I'm using it more and more in content. I don't know if you saw that recent one where the one thing that people didn't know about Jasper was that he wants everybody to subscribe to the channel.
So the only person willing to roast you was a coworker.
Fair cop. I mean, I can't even pronounce his surname, so yeah, there we go.
Oh, shots fired! I think
I've tried it. Holzhauer. So
that was it. I think you got it.
Holzhauer, but we call him Hacksaw. So
he's just hand to face right now. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if there's any more roasts, but I don't think people like this game. I think there's other questions answered.
Maybe they just love him too much. They're just not willing to do it.
Here we go. I hope my channel's future is as bright as Rob's 5-head.
You know, I've just bought a new light. I'm just gonna carry on.
Okay, your head looks like a mirror. I feel bad reading these.
Gotta shine a bit. Add a bit of color to it. There we go.
What's that for?
I don't know. If people want to focus on my. Yeah, I can change the color of it. Mind you, it's a bit overexposed, that, isn't it?
It is a bit.
Yeah. I bought this new light, Dan, and hang on a sec.
Oh, it's slow-mo. They're saying slow-mo is making it so they can't roast you as quickly. Got it.
So look, this is at 1%, and it's still blinding. So yeah,
that's a great light.
Yeah, it's a really good light, but the lowest brightness setting is far too bright. Anyway, where were we?
Okay.
Do you want me to
You've lost a single hair for every subscriber you've killed. What does that mean?
I don't know. All right, I'm turning off slow mode for a second so people can rust away.
All right. Rob looks like Mr. Clean with a red mustache.
That is true, actually. One of our coworkers has already done that joke, so thanks very much. Welcome to 2017.
You look like a discount Captain Picard.
Yes, but here's the thing, right? And I keep telling people about this. I am still going to look exactly the same in 20 years' time, which is quite rugged and handsome. Whereas you, with your withering hair, is going to look a lot older in 20 years' time. And true fact, Patrick Stewart was born 5 miles away from where I was born, in good old West Yorkshire. So there you go.
So, do you think it's the water?
Could be. The Yorkshire. We call it Chateau Pennine, where we get our water from.
I don't know if the animated creeper, that was a roast towards them or my withering hair, but I'm going to assume it was them because I took it personally. See, Charlie's giving likes your hairstyle. Let's
Thanks.
see here.
I appreciate it.
They said somebody said they missed you so much. Like, I guess that's why you're not getting roasted. They're just glad you're here.
Yeah, but just can't roast me.
So that was a roast on me.
Character.
I'm going to take that one personally as well. You can direct air traffic. I guess because
in an office,
the shiny head. No, when you go outside.
Sure thing. What, when it's cloudy? Come on, do better than that.
Maybe you can interrupt air traffic. There's a lot of hair ones. Do I have to pick?
Is that it? Is that all I've got?
I can't pick them, otherwise I'd throw some up there.
You're too good of a person, I guess. People can't think of anything to roast you about. Well, sorry, it's hard to now. Like, chat's moving a lot faster because of slow mode.
All right, I'm gonna bring slow mode back because either Dan's terrible at picking insults or these insults are terrible. So I think we should move on.
Animated Creeper didn't miss you because we got to see me mess up. What did I mess up? I think a couple things got muted for a moment, but I was watching the levels.
Dan's numbers were good yesterday. I was watching, keeping an eye in the background.
You were taking a break and you're still watching.
Oh, I just
that's my roast.
I just checked in to make sure that the live stream went live. To be honest, Dan, because I kind of left you to it.
And then I get roasted again. Now I can't turn on live streams. How did I get all the? This is not fair. I'm not looking to roast chat. All right. Should we go back to answer?
Yeah,
questions?
Let's get back on topic.
All right.
All right.
So I thought I saw one that I wanted to grab, but then the chat jumped. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Meow Muna. I'm thinking of starting on Twitch. Would it be good to grow an audience on YouTube first, then migrate my subscribers to Twitch? Heard Twitch is bad for discoverability. How familiar are you, Ben, in all of your teachings with Twitch?
So I have a few friends that Twitch stream professionally. So most of what I know I've learned from them, but I haven't done any of it myself personally.
I think the strategy that was just posed in the question itself is something I've seen definitely work in the past. I will always stress goals. You know, is the goal to become a Twitch streamer? Is it to become a YouTuber? Are you trying to do everything? And if you're trying to do everything, like, what's the difference between your Twitch channel and your YouTube channel? Why should people from your YouTube channel go and watch you on Twitch? These are all questions you just kind of need to answer. But yes, on Twitch, there really isn't a lot of discoverability features. There probably never will be because of the nature of the website and how it works. So if you can get a jump start on Twitch, because as you know, the more viewers you have, the higher you rank, just because it's always listed from like top to bottom in terms of viewer numbers. So yes, if you can get a head start, that is one way to do it, but just keep your goals in mind.
Yeah, I think every platform has its strengths and weaknesses, and if you can find external platforms to kind of deal with the weaknesses that Twitch may have, it may then make it a lot faster for you to get to a point where then Twitch can help you out, like you said.
Yes, completely agree. I'll start starting to look for more questions here. Now I'm finding Roast Rob stuff, but
it's all coming in now, is it?
Yeah.
See, a question about live streaming.
Who's that from?
Twins YouTube or Twins YT?
Oh, sorry, Dan.
We both clicked it.
Yeah, gone.
Now I can't find it. Oh, there it is.
All right, we're good.
Is live stream good to get watch time and subs?
I think you two are the guys to answer this question.
Oh, so you're just picking questions for us, Ben? All right,
we're doing it to him. So.
Right, I was thinking I could have a 2-minute break there. So I think for channels that are predominantly video on demand, and then you do like a live stream once or twice a week, then gaining subscribers, I would say not. I think it's for giving more value to your existing community, like doing Q&As like this. Watch time, yes, you can always potentially get those watch time bombs, as we call them, whereby, the fact that there's 200 people watching this now, it means that we're getting quick maths again, like, what is the maths? 200 people. It's 3.5 hours of watch time every minute that people are watching this for 2 hours. So, do the quick math on that. But you have to have that existing community to have a sizable audience already. Having said that, I think there are channels where they're predominantly live streaming. And so, yeah, they are gaining and building a community through live streaming, but I think they do that on a much more regular basis. And it might be they're live streaming every day or 3 or 4 times a week. A good example of this actually might be to look at Emily D. Baker, who's blowing up as a channel right now. I think she's going to be at 1 million subscribers next year, if not the year after. And she has a mix of video on demand and live streams, but her live streams get like 4,000 concurrent viewers. Wow. And she has like around about 125,000 subscribers at this point, which is a phenomenal conversion rate. So she's a former attorney, and now she covers law stories surrounding, I guess, things that are happening on the internet, also YouTube celebrities and so forth. But she's very knowledgeable. We've had her on this live stream as well. Yeah. So I think, unfortunately, as usual, it depends on your audience. But Dan, if you've got other thoughts, do let us know.
Yeah. So by the way, next week, Emily will be here once again for legal Q&A. So if you
it's the first Wednesday of the month, isn't it? Cool.
Yep. So start writing down your questions as they relate to like legal sides of YouTube, because that'll be that next week. So when it comes to live streaming, trying to get some extra subscribers and watch time, I'm not clear. Rob, you might have clarity on this. I've been experimenting. I've been trying to figure out if those watch time bombs you were talking about matter towards your 4,000 hours for monetization.
Now that you mention that, I seem to think they did at one point, but I think you're right now in that only the replay watch time counts.
Right. Now,
yeah.
As somebody who just went through this journey myself on another channel, I will say that I was able to achieve the watch time faster through live streams because of the replays. I left the replays up. I also did get subscribers both afterwards and while I was live. And some people would jump into chat and say, I just subscribed. This was in my feed. This is cool, whatever. And I'd get a few subscribers that way, which was awesome. But I always got more subscribers on the videos themselves when those took off and I put the time to, put some juice behind them. So while you can get subscribers, you can get watch time from live streams. If you're only going to use them as part of your strategy, if you're not going to be like a full-on live stream channel, I would just give more weight and more attention to those video on demand pieces on your channel. But again, like Rob said, it really depends on what the channel is and what you're kind of going for as a creator. Whether you're going to be a full-on live streamer or video on demand or so forth.
You know what I think we should do now, Dan, since we've given so much value over the last 90 minutes. And
yes, we have.
I'm going to use some Ben speak here and say that now we've got our leads are hot, I think, at this point. So let's get them. Let's get them to invest in vidIQ. That transition may have sounded like a little too forced.
It was very forced.
But we are starting our start of summer campaign where we're encouraging creators to, as the world opens up again, now that COVID is being tackled more, hopefully creators are going to be getting out and creating more. And we want to support you on that journey with our summer offer, which is going to provide you with 30% off vidIQ, the annual boost plan. And along with that, you will also get a free one-on-one coaching session with one of our expert auditors, where we always talk about the Tuesday channel audit live streams as like your taster. It's a snack size audit where we talk about your channel passively and you can't really interact with us as we talk about it. But channel audits allows you to speak directly to one of our channel auditors for a full hour, and where they can investigate your analytics and offer all sorts of advice. And that's just offered free as part of subscribing to a yearly boost plan. So if you want to take advantage of all of these fantastic offers right now, then I think Hacksaw, if you could put a pinned comment link in the chat. There's also a link in the description. You can upgrade your vidIQ software from a free user to boost and take advantage of all of these wonderful offers that are on screen now. So yeah, the hot leads. Come on, at least one of you, if you're really wanting to do it and can afford to do it, now is the time to strike and become a creator over the summer with the help of vidIQ.
I always like to remind people that our coaches have literally helped people start YouTube businesses and, by proxy, probably careers as well, because
True.
They've taken channels that have been, starting out and they're like, I'm ready for the next move, but I'm, help me out. Where do I go? And having somebody there to, with experience to help guide you is insanely valuable. So you get a free version of that just by virtue of also purchasing the very, very helpful tools at a discount. So
let's just add, we know this offer isn't for everybody because not everybody can afford hundreds of dollars, which is why we also have in the description a link to use vidIQ for free for an entire month and have access to all of our tools. So that wouldn't cost you anything. You just need to click on a link and follow the steps to get full access to just the vidIQ tools. So you won't get a free audit with that link, but you will be able to use all of our tools to help you research, analyze, and take actionable decisions on the data insights that we provide you. All right, let's move on to the next question. I think, Dan, looks like you've pulled one up.
Yep. So Ben, you put us on the spot. So now we're angry and we're putting you on the spot.
Only fair.
I get lots of views from Facebook groups, but lots of them dislike the video. Should I stop suggesting one of my videos to answer a question? So they're responding, I guess, in kind with a video, and it's not going well.
So I think if that's happening, like, is it possible that that's not the answer that they were looking for? Like, I think you do want to really think about where you're putting it and if there's actual value to be had from posting it there. I think that's going to dictate how it's seen by people, whether it's viewed as spammy or not. So I think being maybe more selective with where you put it could be a great way to start with it. And then my ask would be, are they disliking it in a Facebook group, or are they coming over to YouTube and disliking it there? Because that could be them just saying, you didn't answer my question on Facebook. So I wouldn't stress too much about that. But if they're not interested in your YouTube content, then you're not really getting any value from putting it in there. So I would really ask about where you're putting it, and then is this the right time and place to put it here?
The thing we said earlier too may also apply here. Are you linking the entire maybe 20-minute video, or are you linking it at the timestamp that actually answers the question the person was trying to get an answer for? Because I think that makes a difference. Even though that might lead to a weird retention spike for you, it also adds some good faith. Like, this YouTuber reached out to me specifically and gave me my answer in a clear way immediately. I didn't have to wade through a 20-minute video trying to find it.
I agree.
I was just looking at the channel in the background, and I can't see strong evidence of a lot of dislikes on the YouTube videos themselves, because the likes and dislikes still seem to be 90% or above. So maybe it is dislikes on the Facebook side of things.
Let's see here. Yes, that's probably accurate. So hopefully that helps. I have one here from Robin Hahn. If I'm posting a clip of my most recent long-form video on my Instagram, which is better? Should I make a captioned reel and create a vertical crop of my vid, or should I make it on Instagram TV?
So I think this comes down to just being honest with yourself. So when you cut it down, does it still maintain the presence and the value that you intended for it to have when originally creating it. And if you can achieve that in a truly vertical format, then I would say you're probably better served putting it in Reels, just because they've come out and said that there's going to be more of a push for accounts that do publish Reels. But I would say don't do that if it's compromising the content itself. Then you may be better served to have it more of that nurturing element that I mentioned earlier, to really just provide the value that people maybe came to you and your Instagram for in the first place. So it's good, like we keep saying time and time again, it's definitely case by case basis. But I think being critical with your own content is very important to see if this is the right or wrong thing to do. And again, like I said before, you may be able to just basically capture the bullet points that you mentioned in the YouTube video and then film it vertically on something even like your phone. That may be a far less effort to edit, and then it would do better on Reels.
Let's take this one. How to keep and maintain your growth after going viral for a video. Who wants to tackle this one first?
Well, it's very vague because I'm trying to. I always like to use examples when I can. I would say that you need to investigate the video. That viral video is going to give you a lot of different data points. You know, what was the search term that people discovered it from, or what was the topic, and are there more ways to cover that topic? Something we've seen happen a few times. I'm not saying that's what happened with this channel, but we've seen a few people decide to pivot just in one video. They just want to try covering something new, and that video blows up, but the channel was never intended to be about this other thing. And if you're running into that, then it is a matter of, hey, you're onto something, and now your channel is about that thing, you know, and it certainly can be if you want it to. So it's time to jump in head first. But without seeing what it was, giving you specific examples, that's just kind of my quick take.
I can quickly bring it up. How do I get it full screen? So this is their channel. I mean, the first thing to note, we're not doing channel audits here, but just to try and answer the question, you haven't posted, if this is the channel you're talking about, you haven't posted any content really in the last 2 months. So like, there's only one video in the last 2 months. So the consistency certainly isn't there. And I think when you have viral moments, trying to double down on that content, if it is part of your video strategy, you know, your value proposition, is the first thing I would suggest doing. And also have a mindset of, the very definition of a viral video is that it's exceeded expectations by an incredible amount. So that doesn't necessarily mean that the next video is going to be viral as well. Look at it from this point of view. Let's say you average about 400 views per video, and then you have a viral video that gets 100,000 views, but then videos after it get 600 views for 600 views. Well, you've actually, on average, your videos are now getting 50% more views than before the viral moment. So you have increased your reach, but you can't expect to replicate it exactly. I mean, some channels do this, but generally a viral video will raise a profile of the channel as a whole, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to transition into every subsequent video. I feel as if I've explained that in a really elaborate, ranty way.
It looks like they are making shorts, but they're also mixing in long form content. I don't know which one of these is the viral video in question.
I did sort by most popular, and there was this one which has 350,000 views.
So it's a 5-minute video. So the length is different than the ones we saw before. It's a little bit longer. And I can see why that went more viral. The thumbnail is pretty cool. You've taken Pikachu, very recognizable symbol, and then put them on an Among Us character, also a recognizable symbol. So you've taken 2 big pop culture things and crammed them together. So the answer is, can you do that again? Can you take another pop culture reference and smash it into Among Us? Or, you know, can you take 2 other gaming references and cram them together if it's not just an Among Us channel, for example? But I would lean into more fun references, be it Pokemon. Pikachu's not the only Pokemon that's very popular, so can you even just use other Pokemon characters to cram in there? But yes, double down on that as much as you can.
You have to consider here as well seasonality. I think YouTube described this as.
Yep.
You're 6 months beyond that viral video now. Yes, you could try and replicate it, but how many people are watching Among Us content now versus then, and I think that dynamic has shifted quite a lot. That's not to say that you shouldn't try it, but be prepared for results that maybe you could have got a week or two afterwards, but aren't going to be quite as exciting now. But you're not going to know that until you test. And the fact that you've only made one video in the last couple of months, again, we go back to that question that was asked like a long time ago. Was somebody made a video of one of my ideas? Well, you could have made it, or you could have made another version of it. This channel could be doing exactly the same thing.
I'm way up in chat here, so I have an older one here.
Sure.
I have a niche Instagram on the Division game. It's been successful, and I'm close to 2,000 followers. How would be a good way to bring them into my main Instagram/YouTube where I play other games?
That's definitely a common problem that people have. And oftentimes I ask if there's not a direct alignment, it can be more difficult to do. And then in turn, like, why are you doing that account? So I think it comes down to what kind of relationship you have with these 2,000 people. If you are pretty tight with them, I think just sprinkling in your content slowly is going to be the best way to do it. But if you just try to, like, I've seen a lot of people make the mistake of building up a page for, say, something more niche like this, getting it to an audience, and then switching the niche and say making it more of like a general game page or totally far more broad. And that's typically not going to do so well. So I would say focus on the people who are the most interested in the content and have the tightest connection with you, and even like ask them directly to come over. That's one potential way too. And then sprinkle in with your stories and just letting people know that there are other ways where they can consume your content. And also don't expect it to happen overnight, because like any platform, it's a little difficult to get them over somewhere else, but just continue to sprinkle away at it without being too much.
There's a creator who we talked to on the podcast. His name is Vid Iq. I watch him quite a bit. He has two different YouTube channels. One of them is his main channel with about 30,000 subscribers, and he does vlog content. He also talks about YouTube and just the journey of being a creator. And then he has a gaming channel. Last I checked, was in the 5,000 range, probably more now. And it's a separate channel from his YouTube main channel, so he kind of did the opposite. And that second channel is just a lot smaller than the main one, because he started out on YouTube and built this audience around people who were more interested in seeing the daily vlogs and that journey as a creator. And I bring him up to invite you to go check his channel out, learn from it. He's awesome. But also because you're building an audience with the Division, you have 2,000 followers. And I think you're going to find, and Ben basically said this just in a different way, you're going to want to focus on those Division folks because they're interested in that, and I think with 2,000 followers, you're going to be able to pull a fraction of them over to your more main channel. But if you keep shifting your focus between those two things and keep this tug of war up, it's going to take away the focus from the Division channel. It's going to stay at like 2,000 followers. It's going to grow slowly. If you were to devote more time to the Division channel, though, and focus more on that, and it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, then when you start to pull off into a more broad topic, there's a larger sample size, more people. And with the people who've been around a while, you've built a stronger connection. So they're even more likely to come over and check things out. Personally, I just don't think 2,000 followers is enough to start already segmenting your audience and trying to split them up between two different focuses.
Yeah, I would echo that. I think the more consistent you can be in that, it's going to make Instagram's job easier to help find you more people. And the more that you deviate from that, you kind of slow the momentum that you've worked to build.
Right. And I bring up Vid Iq because he knows this, and he does such a good job of not beating me over the head as a viewer with his gaming channel. He mentions it definitely comes up, but it's not like, guys, please watch me play games on my gaming channel. Yeah. He lets the gaming channel grow on its own, and he lets his main channel grow on its own. They appeal to two different audiences. He invites both audiences to come check him out in the other area, but it's not a tug of war,
which is huge.
Yeah.
Koi Fish Gaming. I find Instagram the hardest social media platform to use effectively. Square pics. Add a bit to that. What would you consider its biggest advantages, and how should we focus our efforts at the start? All right, Ben. So we got I think a YouTube gaming channel, and trying to figure out how to start an Instagram channel, and it feels as if newbies, if finding square images a challenge. So where might a gaming channel start?
I think you should focus on YouTube and still have the Instagram presence, because like I mentioned earlier, one of the hardest parts about Instagram is getting past that first initial push of getting that decent sized following. So if you can be building that from just trickle down traffic from your YouTube, that's going to be great, because once you start growing, once you start getting on Instagram, if you want to grow there, you're going to have to post quite consistently. Like they want you posting like daily, if not more, over on Instagram to really experience some growth. So I would say use the YouTube momentum to start getting some stuff over there, and then you're gonna benefit from focusing on YouTube more, growing on YouTube. And then when Instagram can be a priority that's done right, then you now already have an existing audience that helps you to battle one of the hardest parts about Instagram. So kind of the opposite of what you're asking, but I would focus more on YouTube right now.
So, Ben, you can totally counter this if this is not a good strategy. But one thing I think this creator could do is, as they make thumbnails for their videos and things like that, they're going to start collecting a lot of images, a lot of different assets. I think what I would do if I wanted to keep up my Instagram presence, but like you said, focus on YouTube. So just have a presence there, but don't really like go hard. I would take these thumbnails and make square versions of them while you're working on the video. So now you have a square piece of content, you know. And don't use it to promote the YouTube channel, but combine it with a caption that is interesting. And so you have something to share. So you're repurposing content from YouTube, your thumbnails in this case, and making them interesting, focused content over on Instagram. They're not there to spam or self-promote. They're just there to add value to a conversation.
I'm just trying to work out how to do this now effectively with a community tab where you can post basically square images. Wait, you can post landscape images, but you got to tap on the image to make it landscape. So that's what I've been trying a little bit, where I'm kind of using the thumbnail but adding some captions to it. I still don't know if I've got this right, but just trying something a little bit different, because I always try on the community tab on YouTube not to share video links. I want people to tap a link, because when you share video links as a community post, it just shares it as a video within the homepage. I'm getting, God, how do I this is really hard to explain. So
if you were looking on mobile, it would show up as like just another video, right?
Just another video, yeah. Whereby if you see a line of text or a static image or a voting poll, that disrupts the flow of your swipe. It's something different, and so that's why I've been trying. And you get a lot more engagement as well. Like this has 1,000 likes, whereas if it was just a video, it would probably have a video share. It would have like 40 likes, because people don't realize it's a community post. Thanks, Dan, for helping me out there.
Yeah. All right. I thought I saw someone talking about TikTok. Yeah. Carbon Gaming. Started uploading my shorts. Uploading shorts to TikTok to try and grow over there and also bring them to my YouTube channel. But I get shadow banned because people upload my shorts on TikTok. How do I get around this? Oh, no. So I guess people are taking your shorts from YouTube, and because they're not watermarked, using them on TikTok, and now they got there first in TikTok's eyes. Is that the quandary?
So if that's what they think the issue is, that's not going to be an issue, because there's evidence all over TikTok of that, where there can be, say, like a theme page around a specific show, and they're posting identical clips to another one, and they both are getting millions of views. So I wouldn't say that that's the issue because somebody posted it first. Obviously, that sucks that they took your content, but I would try to just focus on what you're posting and posting more content that's going to work specific to TikTok. In terms of shadow ban, I'm not too familiar with any shadow ban on TikTok. I know that on Instagram for a long time, they said that it didn't exist, and now they've since come out and say that, well, they just don't call it a shadow ban, but there's something very similar to that. So there's likely something similar like that on TikTok, and there's probably forums out there that will help you get rid of that.
I think this is one of the reasons why Jake Feldman watermarks all his shorts.
Yep.
But yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? By the way, Carbon Gaming is one of his people who's leveraged the community tab to phenomenal levels on YouTube. Like 200,000 subscribers put in 2 hours. This one is one of these. I mean, look, these ones, which really annoy me.
Whatever you want.
Blank characters. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to vert. And that means now that I'm going to get loads of community posts from Carbon Gaming. Again, I'd love to do this kind of type of stuff on vidIQ, but I think it's a little like how productive is this business-wise to do silly community posts like this? Look at that. Can we get 69% in the middle option? Yes. There we go. Magic. Magic. Well done, Carbon Gaming. So yeah, if people are wanting to know how to do inventive things, which are not video content, then check out Carbon Gaming's community tab. It's quite interesting.
We should talk about the community tab for a minute. You definitely should be using the community tab. And what's great is that if you are using Instagram and Twitter and things like that, and you're making these square images, there's no reason you can't take them and just interchange them on different platforms. However, Ben, you've stressed that you should make content for a platform. But I think the square image is a place to start. I mean, you can make the caption something. You could also take that image and just edit it in different ways. Maybe you have some text on it that's different on YouTube and Instagram just because you're trying to say different things, target different audiences.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Why I typically say to not simply repurpose is because if you're looking to really grow on a platform, you have to be intentional about trying to grow on that platform. And how can you expect to stand out when there's people who are doing very similar things specific to the platform? So that's more what I'm referring to. If you're just looking for more touch points, then it's definitely worthwhile to experiment with.
The community tab is something that I think it's rather underrated. If you have 1,000 subscribers, you have access to it. If you're not going to do daily videos, and I think that's quite a lot of work, I think you should be doing daily community posts. I think they're a great way to interact with your audience, start new conversations. They're also great for idea generation. Not necessarily saying, what should my next video be about? But more along the lines of asking a question that gets some interesting responses. And I'm already finding my notes expand from my own channel when I'm trying to come up with ideas based on the comments I'm reading.
To answer that exact point, Dan, I did a community post this morning saying if you could only have one YouTube feature. Actually, this was one of Dan Hirsch's Twitter posts, and I stole it from him. But if you could only have one of these YouTube features, which would it be? And people are going for the community tab more than anything else.
Wow.
Which is interesting. And yeah, maybe a community post that you want to get involved in. Read the comments.
Not a lot of people want that shorts camera.
Yeah, no, they don't. So why am I making so many videos about shots? Interesting. So this question: does uploading consistency, always one video or more every week, help with doing better with the algorithm? Does having small inconsistency push your channel down? It's an interesting question because I think we have to take consistency as more of a broader concept than just how often you post. Although I think it is important for a viewer to be constantly, reminded as much as possible by the YouTube discovery engine that you have new content coming out. Because, when somebody goes to the homepage, they're always being exposed to new videos. So if you can have new videos constantly popping up on that homepage and browse page, that's going to be really good for creating watching habits with an audience. But we do know that some creators, Mark Rober being an example, he posts one video every single month. But his videos are so consistently good and of such high consistent value that people watch that content and are prepared to wait for a long time. So there are different ways to interpret consistency, I think. But I'd love to hear your collective thoughts.
Well, Rob, how many times have people told you, I get my YouTube news from you, Rob? Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
They wouldn't be able to say that if you weren't willing to break your pattern and upload when there's something to talk about right away, And there's reasons to break up that consistency, but I know I'm talking about adding videos rather than subtracting them.
Yeah.
I think it's so dependent on what kind of channel you are and what kind of videos you're making. And I think I wouldn't sacrifice consistency in favor of the value of a video. I think a good video is going to do more for you. A really good video, if you can get to that point, it's going to do more than 3 videos that were posted in the same day. So I think if you can do both, that's ideal. But I wouldn't compromise the value of a video just to maintain a schedule.
Yeah. The other part of consistency for anybody listening, we should probably make sure we touch on too, is you want your content itself to be
Yes.
consistent.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're uploading videos about consistent things that people subscribe for in the first place, that people return for, because you can upload the same exact schedule every single day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But if your Wednesday video one week is about something totally different, I went to the park, and normally you talk about games or something, that's going to hurt you. That's going to do more for you than damage to you than if you had not uploaded at all that Wednesday.
Let's just quickly bring up this channel actually and talk about where there might be consistency challenges here. So let's brought it up. So this is their channel. So I think first of all, I would be saying there's a lack of consistency in kind of the branding or the pitch of a channel itself. All of the thumbnails look very different from one another. So I wouldn't necessarily immediately know that this channel has released a new video. It just shows on the homepage, because each one looks very different in terms of color and font and text.
Yeah. And so I'm seeing a month ago, 3 weeks, then 5 days.
Yeah.
So schedule consistency is also off. Also, as a general note, the thank you for 30 subscribers video, just pointing that one out real quick. That's the perfect thing for a community tab. I want you to thank your 1,000th subscriber via the community tab,
or as a live stream where you may be talking to those 30 subscribers.
Try not to interrupt because it was a month ago, and then it took at least a week to get your next video, which was new video out later today. So you're kind of using your videos as a community tab, and it's confusing to your audience. It's going to, it's just going, there's an apology video for not uploading. Like, all of these are community tab posts to me. And I know you don't have the community tab. Could be a good reason to build up your Twitter, build up your Instagram following, things like that. But, more importantly, less about the channel itself and more value to the audience.
And then maybe consistency of the format of the content. I'm seeing some Let's Play stuff, I think, here, longer 20-minute videos. Then some free animated Minecraft capes, and then a challenge. So even within the Minecraft genre there, you're covering sort of different aspects where, we always recommend that the first thing that you should be doing is providing new, interesting, valuable things in the Minecraft world that they can't necessarily get anywhere else. So the how-tos, the tutorials, the listicles, the versus stuff. I'm not necessarily seeing that content yet. Now, I apologize if we've kind of, I guess, roasted the channel a little bit, but I think we needed some examples of what we're talking about in consistency. And so it's not just about when you post videos. We're looking at many different aspects of your channel to find a consistent type of content, and we're not exactly seeing that just yet.
They got a video 6 months ago, Sharks in Minecraft, and that got 400 plus views. I think that would have been, to me, a trigger. Like, oh, what else can I put in Minecraft, and then talk about from there.
Yeah, and how to get plushies in Minecraft. Could that one have been leveraged a little bit more? And the animated texture pack. Maybe you could have done a series of different texture packs that could have been provided in your content.
These are all, I know we're going way into channel outs now. These are all videos that are valuable to the audience. And your audience is what? It is people who play Minecraft. And you've given 3 videos to them that made their Minecraft experience more interesting. And you could even do them in the form of Let's Plays so that you have fun while you're doing it too. But you've shown them things that they too can do in Minecraft. They're going to watch that video, they're going to take something from it, and they're going to apply it to their own games.
I guess to just add at the end, this is a common issue. Many channels of a similar size have consistency issues, and that's gained through experience making content, getting data back from those videos, but then acting on that data to kind of streamline your content going forward.
Well, final thoughts from Ben as we start to wrap up.
Yeah, I was just listening because you guys were both saying basically everything I would have said. So kudos.
In general, though, thoughts on words of encouragement, I guess. Starting up on YouTube, starting up on Instagram, getting everything together as you put your brand together.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is consistency in terms of being patient and realistic in terms of what your goals are and where you're trying to go, and also like how much work you're putting in to try to achieve those goals. So I think a lot of people have million subscriber goals, but maybe like a 10,000 subscriber work ethic, right? So make sure that those match each other, and how much time and effort you're putting into not only do the things you're currently doing, but improve those, and also not spread yourself too thin. So even though as like a social media strategist like myself, I don't think that you should be everywhere if it's compromising what you're truly trying to do. So I think getting that understanding is really, really important. I think we've touched on that time and time again, but it's because it's really true. And subscribe to that guy too.
Yes. Thank you, Rob, for pulling that up.
Well, I'm going to subscribe and then just unsubscribe, just to roast the channel.
You're almost at 80,000.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Where
I'll subscribe.
Where's the silver play button going?
I'll turn notifications on.
We're pushing for it, but
where's it going? Is it going right behind you?
Oh yes, definitely. There'll be a change up in the office for sure to make sure that's on display.
So yes, please check out Ben's channel. It is linked down below. And if you have more questions about social media and growing on these different platforms as you work to create and become a brand, when it comes to social media, I always just think like treat your channel, treat your endeavors as a business, even if they're not profitable yet. If the goal is to become profitable, then act right now as if it already is profitable. And, that's when all these things start to make more sense. So you can take them more seriously. We have the summer sale. It's also linked down below. You can get a free coaching session, 30% off an entire year of our Boost package, and also some extra tools as well. So check that out, vidIQ.com/bonus. And Rob, anything else before we start saying goodbye?
Yeah, your cheat code for getting 10,000 views automatically on your next video is triangle, circle, X, square. Yeah, I think I've got that right. But obviously you're going to need to buy a controller, PlayStation 4 controller, to plug it into your PC.
PS5 controller.
Oh, so PS5. Oh, it's only on PS5.
Yeah,
sorry.
Good luck. Good luck with those views.
Yeah.
Who are you saying bye to?
I am saying goodbye to the following people that include Lil Crafty Nook, Vex YT, Foodie Sashin, Sweet Tea Television, and also I'm going to say goodbye. Whoa, my chat just went absolutely crazy. Just 1 second. Brandon, Turnip Seed Productions, Bori Piano, Robin Han, Carbon Gaming, and oh my God, bro.
Before Ben, I asked you to say bye to some people. The other thing I should have mentioned too is yes, you have been on Tube Talk, our YouTube podcast. We talked to Ben for about an hour about all these subjects, but with a little more, I would say, focus and structure. So they were more, we dove in a little bit deeper. So if you want more info, please go check that episode out. Ben, who are you saying bye to?
I am saying bye to Lord Eru Plays, Apex Cyber, Zenzerus. Sorry, I'm probably butchering these names. Short review. You did some great questions today. So bye-bye to you. Bye-bye to the Jules to Mastery podcast and Devansh Miroda. I saw that you subscribed to me too. So thank you for doing that. And bye-bye. Thanks for showing up. And thanks everyone for showing up.
Rob, Q&A is over, but I think I have a question for you here as I look for some names to say goodbye to. I think Rob only charges about $5 for a date.
Sure, yeah. Hit me up on Cameo.
Cameo. That's
or is it OnlyFans? Which is the one?
Cameo is the one you probably want.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I will say goodbye to Figgy D Randoms, Vex YT, Make Crafts and Fun, Lil Crafty Nook, Perry Pictures. We have Joe's Phenomenal, Zinzeris. Thank you so much to Zinzeris and all of our moderators today. Much appreciated. Robin Hahn, Flaming Shane, Rado Yem, and Tanner Animation. Thank you, everybody. It's been fun. Gloves are coming off, so that means we're officially done.
We're done.
We will be back on Tuesday for channel audits and Wednesday with Emily D. Baker for Q&A legal edition. So be sure to jot down those questions now about anything you wanted about YouTube as it relates to the law. And we'll be back with Emily Sorry, I had to. We'll be back with Emily to answer
I
those.
fought the YouTube law and I got a copyright strike.
All right, everybody. I'm going to fumble around for buttons here for saying goodbye. There it is.
Wave awkwardly.
See you, everybody.